Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thank you very much for inviting me to this opportunity. And I would like to tell you about this title, Mission Impressive, the key to powerful presentation. So from now on, you are a powerful presenter and effective speaker in the world, the best speaker in the world. Are you ready? Yeah. Okay, good. Another presentation is like this. Sleepy. But from now on, you will be a presentation superhero. Are you excited? Yeah. Okay, first of all, I'd like to tell you one thing. Presentation is what? Presentation is what? This is a hint, the picture. Anybody? Presentation is a gift or present. But for whom? Is it for you? The speaker? No. It's for the audience. Okay? So, please first keep in mind, remember, that presentation is not for you yourself. It's for your listeners. Right? Now, so that means the presentation should be audience-centered, not speaker-centered. Well, speech communication, including public speaking presentation, consists of two things. Content, of course, you need to have a good content, plus style, that is, how to give the content. Delivery, in other words. And those two are divided into your voice part and body and other visual elements. In this visual elements, of course, slide and poster design is included. Now, I would like to talk about these elements all together, one by one. But before going into that, I would like to tell you one overarching principle. That is the principle that covers everything. That is this, the signal to noise ratio. This originally comes from communications technology, and also, some companies use this idea to give an image that this device is very good for audio equipment. And signal to noise ratio means you need to maximize the signal and you need to reduce noise as much as possible so that your signal will be given to your listener effectively. right? So this also applies to our presentation. So the signal here is your message. Noise is anything that will prevent your message from coming across to your audience. Alright? So, maximize the signal, reduce noise. That's the key today. Now, style and delivery. First, voice part. Voice part consists of 6 elements. First, your breathing, what we call diaphragm breathing. I would like to explain this later. And volume, rate, pitch, and finally, enunciation. Wow, difficult word. I would like to explain this later too. And pronunciation. Now, first one. Diaphragm breathing. Diaphragm is actually a muscular tissue sitting here, separating your chest and your lower body. People, especially Asian people, including Japanese, tend to breathe only using chest muscles. But that's not good. It doesn't sound well. If you want to have your voice resonant, that is, your voice, if you want to make your voice go far away, you need to use here too. And that's called a diaphragm breathing, using your lower body too. Actually, English is kind of this language. It's a strong, weak rhythm type of language. Compared to Japanese or other East Asian languages, which is rather more like a high-low type of thing. A high-low type of thing, you don't need to use strong strength. But for you to have strong, weak type of accent, you need to use your belly muscle too. Right? So, a lot of, for those American or other English speakers, this is not so stressed. This is not so emphasized. But for Japanese and other East Asian country people, you need to keep, pay attention to this kind of idea, speaking from your body. For example, I would like to demonstrate that. Now, if you only use chest muscles, this way, your voice will sound like this. Good morning, everyone. This is the way. But if you use the part here also, then good morning, everyone. Quite different. So that's number one thing you need to keep in mind. Now, with this, volume, rate, pitch are 3 very important factors for your voice control. Volume, of course, means how loudly or quietly you speak. And rate, how fast you speak, how slow. Or pitch, high and low. Of course, you need to control these things, and your voice must be heard and understood by your audience appropriately. Appropriate level of volume, rate, and pitch is important. And for the rate, the important thing here is try to speak a little bit slowly so that your message will be understood by everybody here. That doesn't also, that doesn't apply not only to, non-native speakers, but that also applies to native speakers when you are speaking in public. So, like, volume, rate, pitch are very important factors for your voice control. This type of thing. Okay. If you speak faster, okay, so voice rate, pitch are very important for you. No. Okay? And also, here, another important thing is variation. If you use good volume, slower pitch, rate, and good pitch, if those are always the same, then it's monotone speaking, monotonous speaking. And that will kind of, make people sleepy. So change volume, change rate, change pitch sometimes. For example, especially when you want to talk about an important part, keywords like volume, rate, and pitch are all important for you. Change. And also here, one tip is pause. If you want to give the keyword, pause before and after the keyword. That will emphasize the keyword. So for example, now everyone, volume, pitch, and rate are all important for you. Alright? Pauses. Finally, enunciation and pronunciation. Enunciation is clearness. If you are a native speaker, that doesn't mean that you are good in terms of enunciation, clearly speaking. Sometimes, people can just, huh? I don't understand you. So speak clearly. Plus, proper pronunciation, correct pronunciation, sounds and accents. That are very important. Okay, so these 6 elements are for your voice control. Did you get it? Alright? Now let's practice. Alright, so make pairs around you, make pairs of 3 people, group of 3 people, and one by one, say these sentences, phrases. But please give special attention to your voice. Like, for example, the first one, collecting shells on the beach is really fun. It's not interesting. It's not really fun. Collecting shells on the beach, it's really fun. Or the next one, you won't be able to come to my birthday party. How disappointing. Not disappointing that way. You won't be able to come to my birthday party? How disappointing! And finally, what are you talking about? It's none of your business! And, okay? Pay special attention to your voice. And make pairs and practice for a moment. Okay, how was it? Were you successful? Yeah! Okay, go on to the next part. Now, body and other visual elements. Especially body control. Body control has also these 6 elements. First, the most important thing is eye contact. Then, posture, how you stand or how you sit. And gesture, facial expression, dress and other visual props, elements. And finally, distance. Distance from your audience and the use of space there, including stage. Now, the first one, eye contact. Eye contact is the most important thing, okay? Well, eye contact is eye contact. It's not an eye movement. So if you move your eyes, it's not an eye contact. Contact means you need to connect with your audience, right? So, when you connect with your audience, well, at the time you stop your eyes. So, doing this, now my eyes are moving all around you, but this is not called eye contact. This is only eye movement. Okay. Eye contact means you need to stop at somebody's, place. Like, so, moving part is not eye contact. Stopping part is the eye contact. Right? So, stop your eyes. Because presentation is basically a dialogue between you, the presenter, and each one of the audience. Even if this hall has a lot of people here, your talk, from the listener's point of view, your talk is only for the one listener there, you, yourself. So you are not a group of people. You are an individual here. Right? There. You are individual, right? Not a group of people. Not one person, right? So, even if you have a group of people, you need to talk to each one of them. That way, for that purpose, you need to stop. You need to stop. You need to stop. Of course, you can look at everybody here, too many people here, but just divide the place in some sections and put stop your eyes to each one of the place section. That's the way. Right. Now, I have a question here. Stop your eyes, okay, but how long? How long I need to stop my eyes? Do you have any idea? How many minutes? How many minutes? Ooh, how many seconds? For example. Any idea? 3 to 5. Okay, 3 to 5. Any other idea? Yes? 4. Okay. Actually, there are a number of different ideas from the professionals. Okay. Some people say that it should be 1 second. Some people say it's 3. And some people say even 5 seconds. Wow, it varies. But I think the correct answer is not how long. Actually, the correct answer is when your eye connects with the audience eye. So, for example, if you stop my eyes here, and if you look back, now we're connected. Then you can move. Okay, so not how long. When your eyes connect with your audience's eyes, that's the time you can move to the next person. Right? Now, angle, you need to keep paying attention to angle. For example, oftentimes you just ignore the corners. Now, people are not sitting in the corner, so it's okay. But sometimes people are sitting over there or over here, and we tend to look at this angle only. So don't forget the corners. And another thing, when you move your eyes, you need to move your body too. At least your face, or much better, your upper body. Just don't slide your eyes like this. I'm now making eye contact with all of you. Very suspicious. Very suspicious. Okay, so don't do that. Move your body or at least your nose. That way your face follows. Okay? And movement. Some people just say that it should be Z-shaped, circle, but it's not a good idea. Any type of shape is very regular. Make it irregular. People easily predict, oh, okay, this time I will be the next one to get, eye contact. No, that's not a good way. That way people tend to speak. So, irregular movement is very important. And, so regular movement like don't be a human electrode fan. Okay. Now, posture. Good balance. Stand with your feet shoulder width apart when you're standing or sitting straight. sitting or standing straight and still. That's the basic position. And don't lean toward something, like, doing this, doing that, doing, I'm sorry. That kind of thing, you don't have to do it. Okay, so please don't do any unnecessary thing. Okay, you can move around, but your body position is very important. Now, gesture. Gesture is very effective. If you just do this kind of thing all the time. I'm now talking with you. I have a presentation here, and well, no movement is not effective. But that doesn't mean that you should move all the time. I'm not presenting. I'm giving you too busy. So, you should move your body, for example, hands, but it should have a meaning or purpose. Okay? With a meaning or purpose, and if you don't do that, it should be a visual noise. So don't make visual noises. And neutral hand position. Some presentation trainers say that it should be here, down, on your sides. But my teacher told me that's not the way. Okay, well, I don't know. When I'm holding my, I can do it, so. Here. Why? Because this way you can move your hands very easily and smoothly and fast. Basic thing is, when you move, you need to get it back. From here, it takes time. Here, good afternoon, or good morning. Hi, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. That way. But that doesn't mean that please don't clasp your hands, grip tightly. No. Just gently put your hands before your belly. Waistline. That's the way. Now, facial expression. Of course, smile is important, but sometimes your story might be a very sad story, then make it sad and harmonize with their content. And when you want to have a bigger facial expression, the key is your eyebrows. When you're smiling, not smiling, but if you use this eyebrow, or when you're surprised, bigger face, using eyebrows. Now, dress, clothes, accessories, or other visual aids, props. I will have to talk about slide designs later, but these should be appropriate and effective. No visual noise, please. Especially, this is not a good way. Wearing a t-shirt or other shirt with characters, words. If people find there is a word, then they tend to read it. And they tend to listen to you. They don't tend to listen to you. They just quit listening to you and start reading the word. Okay? So, word. Unnecessary word. For example, Japanese characters here, or Waseda, Honjo. Oh, Waseda, Honjo. And people try to read Waseda, Honjo, and they don't listen to you. Okay. Distance. It should be seen by all the audience, of course. And you should have rapport, good connection, emotional connection with your audience. So that's the way. Change your position if necessary to harmonize the content. There are a number of different ways. Some people say that you should stand still there, in the same position, but some people say that you should use the all stage, moving around, walking around. But here, important thing is purpose. Why you move from here to there? For example, if you're talking about story, past, present, future, you might want to say, this is the past position, present position, and in the future. That's one way. Okay. So, these 6 elements are for body and other visual elements. Now, okay, work time, exercise time. Work in pairs, make pairs, like you did some minutes ago. And this time stand up. This time stand up. Make pairs. And take turns to describe what you did or experienced this morning or maybe last night. Tell that to your partner. But you've already learned your voice control and body control, so use all your knowledge now. So the title is Dramatic Me. What? Try to describe it as dramatically as possible. Use your voice and body effectively. For example, hi, good morning. Well, this morning I woke up. Yes, I woke up at 8 o'clock. Yes, 8 o'clock. It's quite earlier than usual. Wow! Like that. Okay? Dramatically describe your morning today or last night with your partner. Take turns. Each one 1 minute. Okay, let's begin. If not, don't be disappointed. If you practice more, you'll be much better. Practice makes perfect. You know, a lot of professional presenters, speakers, they practice. They practice so many times. How many do you know? How often? How many times they practice before they give a presentation? For example, previous day or maybe previous week. Wow, that's a good idea. Some people say that 100 times. 100 times, professionals, 100 times practice, right? So that way you will be quite natural and you'll be an effective presenter. So they are professional, but that doesn't mean that they don't need to practice. They practice much more than ordinary people. So if you practice, you will be better, and you'll be, remember, a superhero. Right? Now, slide and poster design. Slides. Poor examples. Why it's not good? It has a visual there, picture there, but too many words. We need to read it carefully. Small letters. And another mistake here. Actually, this is not only a slide itself, but it is a manuscript for speaking. So, the person here, actually a former student of mine, she did things like this. I was born in May 1984 in Yokohama. I have ever moved twice until now, but I have never lived in... Bad mistake. So, that's not good. Next one, very much similar. this is actually a quotation from a book, and people usually do this when you are giving a scientific presentation, don't you? But this is too many words also. We can't read it easily. So this is not a good idea too. Right? Point here is people can't listen and read at the same time. Okay? If you're reading, you're not listening. So, and also visual excels the sound. So, when you are given a visual element, then people tend to be attracted to that visual part instead of the sound. And they tend to understand what that visual is. They tend to want to understand what that visual is. So they try to read the visual, and during that period of time, they don't listen to you. Okay. So that means that when you make a visual, it should be instantly grasped. It's easy to catch. That's the key. So, simplicity. Actually, this keyword comes from a very famous presentations coach, Mr. Gar Reynolds. He always says that simplicity is the key. So that means keep only necessary, important, or effective elements and remove unnecessary, unimportant, or ineffective elements. Actually, this is an example of signal to noise ratio. Signal is the upper part. Necessary, important, or effective elements. That's your signal. And the lower part, unnecessary, ineffective, or unimportant things, they are noises. So remove those noises. Keep only the signal. Okay? It is said in the presentation world, less is more. Less is more. You know, if you use Excel to make a graph, this might happen always, sometimes. Well, title up there, heading, and this beautiful 3D graph, lines, and, some explanation over there. It's very beautiful, it seems, but this is not effective, actually. Why? Because a lot of noises. For example, first, very small letters at the top, the title, we can't read it. And that explanation, also very small, and we can't read it. And 3D, why you need 3D? Very colorful, but these colors, what do those colors mean? Okay? And also numbers, very difficult to read. And lines, make it simple. Easy to understand. And also I changed the title too. Before that, the title is The Number of Bicycle Commuters in This Town. Very neutral title, but it's not effective and it doesn't have any impact. So, a big bang of bicycle commuters! And the point is that red part. Big leap. Right? That way you can easily understand. So simplify your slides and pinpoint your most important part, point. That's the key. Now, for other sample slides, before and after type of slides, samples, you can see this internet site. Actually, this is provided by Mr. Gar Reynolds. I mentioned the name before, and he gave us a lot of examples of better slides and poorer slides examples. So you have the same URL on your handout. So later, please consult this. There are, actually 80, 90 examples there. Okay. Well, but sometimes I want to give detailed information. I would like to give details, research details. Don't do that. If you want to do that, then why don't you just give a handout or paper hopefully after the presentation. Actually, today, this is not a good way, because you already have a handout. It's better to have a handout later. And people, speakers say, well, you will get a handout later, so don't worry. Because people tend to read the handout instead of the slide, and people tend not to listen to you when people have a handout. So, you are good listeners today, because even though you have a handout, you pay attention to me. You are perfect. But oftentimes, people tend to read that, and taking notes, instead of looking up and looking at the speaker or listen to the speaker, right? So, better way is just give it later. But you need to announce that before that. You will get a handout or a paper later, so don't worry. Tell your audience that way, they will get it later on the slide already. Now, the key here is your presentation is not your paper. It's not a paper. Your presentation is an advertisement for your paper. If you're interested in my presentation, why don't you come to me and, I will give you detailed paper like that. Get in touch with me. Now, so far, what is the most important keyword for slide design? What did I say? The most important one word for your slide design. What is the keyword? Do you remember? Yes? Less is more. That's 3 words. Only 1 word. Yes. Okay, simplicity. Good, simplicity. Please keep that in mind. Now, posters. Some guidelines from a book. Design your posters around your research questions, of course, and include these things. Concentrate only on the main points in each section. That means that you need to have a clear one core message for each section. To keep exhibits simple. Simplicity also applies here. And find visual ways to show your work. Only words, it's not a good idea. Just use graphs, visuals, other elements, pictures. Find visual ways to show your work. For example, let illustrations tell the story. Minimize text and use images and graphics instead. And this is one example of a percentage. 20% text, 40% graphics, 40% empty space. Empty space is also very important. All over the paper, a lot of things, are, laid out. That's, quite complicated. So you need to use empty space effectively. You have this picture on your handout. So this is one example of poster design. Actually, this is only one example, so you can change this, but this is an example. Our position for poster layout, this is also from the book. The central part is mainly for illustrations. The most important illustrations or results should be in the middle of the poster. And the top left, and bottom right corners are for text. The most important text sections. Abstract or conclusion at those places. In the top left, bottom right corner. So, this is an example given in the book. Too small. This is not a good example of slides. Small. I can't read it, you can't read it, so this is a bad example. But you have the same thing on your handout. So, later, please. Now the content. Finally, content. Again, audience-centered. You may want to tell your key message to your audience. You want to say something, but if you only think from your point of view, it's not a good idea. Your key message or key idea should be also an interesting idea for the audience. Right? So from the audience point of view, always. Audience analysis is very important. Okay? What kind of people are will listen to me? Male-female ratio, age group, interest. What kind of interest they have? Expertise. Okay. In which field they are expert. Or that. So you need to analyze your audience and accommodate your talk to those people. And also, the important thing is, don't overestimate the listener's knowledge. If you use a lot of technical words, maybe they don't understand you. Okay? They may not know anything. So please don't overestimate their knowledge. Explain everything. But that doesn't mean that they are idiots. Okay? They have intelligence. So don't underestimate their intelligence. Okay? Now, the purpose of presentation. There are mainly three purposes. First one is to inform, informative presentation. Usually, scientific presentation is this type. Okay? To persuade someone to take action, or to persuade someone to believe what I believe. Okay? So persuasion. And finally, to entertain. Entertaining presentation or public speaking. This is not your field, because entertaining is like comedy or storytelling. So these are not for your field, but first two are probably for you, especially the first one. So please think of the purpose this time. Okay, I need to inform the audience, or I need to persuade the audience. You know, if the purpose changes, then your way of speaking might change. Now, anyway, any presentation must have only one core message and hopefully, desirably, three supporting key messages. So, the most important core message must be this. What is the one most important message that you want your audience to remember? If they forget other things, totally forget anything, everything, but I would like to remember at least this. So that's the core message. Okay. This time, do you remember the core message? Maybe you don't. The core message today is maximize the signal, minimize noise. That's the core message today. Okay? And I've been explaining about that one by one. From the delivery part, voice, body, and slide design, and now I'm talking about content. Okay? So, one core message with, this time not three, but desirably three supporting key messages. Because people, if you have more than three messages, people tend not to remember it. So, that core message is called the takeaway message. Takeaway. Okay, I would like to take this away. Takeaway, takeout message. Okay. What is your takeaway message? Why is it so important for the audience center? Now the three most important and convincing supporting messages support the one core takeaway message. That's the structure. Now one core message, or one core message plus three supporting key messages should be clear enough, simple enough, so that people can remember it. And also impressive. If your message is very simple and clear, but it's not so interesting, people don't remember it. So impressive and interesting is the final key point. So that your audience, for your audience, the message is easy to remember. Now, one of the famous professional speakers, Craig Valentine, says that the core message or takeaway message, he calls it foundational phrase, and foundational phrase must be fewer than 10 words. Fewer than 10 words. Why? Because that way, of course, people can easily remember. But that's not the only way. That's halfway. Another, maybe more important thing is make your core message fewer than 10 words. That way, you need to have your message crystal clear. If you have a lot of words, then you can say anything, abstract thing, complicated thing, you can say anything, but it doesn't make it may not be crystal clear. But if you need to express your idea fewer than 10 words, in fewer than 10 words, then your idea must be crystal clear. Okay? So Craig Valentine says that your foundational message phrase must be fewer than 10 words. Again, your presentation is not your paper. Your presentation is an advertisement for your paper, invitation to your findings. Message to stick. This is from the famous book Made to Stick. For Japanese, it is already translated, and the title of Japanese is Idea no Chikara. And from that, this two authors say that the messages that sticks for long, I can't forget this idea, I can't forget this story, I can't forget this message. The messages that stick has these 6 properties, traits. Simplicity, unexpectedness, concreteness, concrete idea, or concrete story, credibility, reliability, and also it should appeal to the audience emotion. And finally, if it's a story, then people remember it forever. So that's called success. If you have this success message, it will stick forever. Finally, the core message, today's take-home message, once again, is maximize the noise, maximize the signal, minimize noise. I forget to drop the second D actually. That's grammatically mistake. But anyway, maximize the signal, minimize noise. That's my take-away message today. Thank you very much. And finally, I would like to see this.
Invited me to be the next czar of mathematics, then I would have a suggestion for him that I think would vastly improve the mathematics education in this country. And it would be easy to implement and inexpensive. The mathematics curriculum that we have is based on a foundation of arithmetic and algebra, and everything we learn after that is building up towards one subject. And at the top of that pyramid, it's calculus. And I'm here to say that I think that that is the wrong summit of the pyramid. That the correct summit that all of our students, every high school graduate should know, should be statistics, probability, and statistics. I mean, don't get me wrong, calculus is an important subject. It's one of the great products of the human mind. The laws of nature are written in the language of calculus. And every student who studies math, science, engineering, economics, they should definitely learn calculus by the end of their freshman year of college. But I'm here to say, as a professor of mathematics, that very few people actually use calculus in a conscious, meaningful way in their day-to-day lives. On the other hand, statistics, that's a subject that you could and should use on a daily basis, right? It's risk, it's reward, it's randomness, it's understanding data. I think if our students, if our high school students, if all of the American citizens knew about probability and statistics, we wouldn't be in the economic mess that we're in today. Not only that, if it's taught properly, it can be a lot of fun. I mean, probability and statistics, it's the mathematics massive games and gambling. It's analyzing trends. It's predicting the future. Look, the world has changed from analog to digital. And it's time for our mathematics curriculum to change from analog to digital, from the more classical, continuous mathematics to the more modern, discrete mathematics, the mathematics of uncertainty, of randomness, of data, and that being probability and statistics. In summary, instead of our students learning about the techniques of calculus, I think it would be far more significant if all of them knew what 2 standard deviations from the mean means, and I mean it. Thank you very much.
You know TED? Yes. TED has a lot of presentations, but actually people just praise TED, but in reality there are a lot of poor examples there. But this professor, isn't he interesting? Enthusiastic, dramatic, right? So I found him very interesting, so I wanted to show you here, because he is a math professor in America. Math professor, I would like to learn from him. Maybe his class is very interesting, enjoyable. Don't you think so? I think he is a, good speaker, one of the good speakers in TED, and I would like to, I would like to show you here. Well, finally, at the last moment he said, he used 3 times the word mean in a different meaning. Okay. Standard deviation from the mean, something, I forget it. And I mean it, finally he said, I mean it. I'm serious. That's the final message. I mean it. So, I would like to say, maximize the message, minimize noise, and I mean it. Thank you very much.